Hey, it's Jordan. Delighted to be joined by Livis. You are a New Yorker, and I came across your story because on social media you had been sharing some pretty unsettling behavior towards you that I think is going on, unfortunately, around the country. So, kind of explain how long have you lived in New York, and in the last few months, what has been happening just as you're going about your daily life.
I've been in New York City for almost 2 years now. I first moved here as a research assistant after I graduated college. Research assistant being doing research in a biological lab. During that year, I applied to graduate school, which is where I am now. Now I'm a graduate student, first year. So. Overall, I like New York City a lot because it's like so diverse. You have so much fun here, and also it's a great opportunity to be doing biological research. It's probably one of the best places in the world. Yeah, I'm quite happy here for the most part. I mean, I understood there were. Discriminations against Asian people before, but I never, like personally, I never really uh, noticed anything very unsettling before. I mean, before this year. So I guess what has been happening to me over the past few months is it has been a little bit too much for me to handle myself, and that's why I started to share on social media. Because like it's it's not the first reaction to share something. I think for most Asian people, people just like I actually when the first time it happened, almost every time it happened, I call my parents, and especially my mom. She told me to just keep my head down and not to cause any trouble, which makes me a little bit a little bit upset because like it's like I'm not the one causing any trouble. I'm the one who's getting the hate, right? So yeah, so that's I feel like I need to speak up, especially when most of people who look like me, they're not speaking up. And that's why I'm so glad that you called me and set up the interview. I really feel like this is a great opportunity to speak um, for people like me. Yeah.
Could you share? I know that you were running and just doing your daily activities, and all of a sudden people are just screaming racial things against you. Can you kind of explain what's been happening?
Well, yeah. The incident that triggered me to go to social media, that was like I would say the harshest experience I had yet. So that's why it was kind of hard for me to handle at the time. I was running, jogging and walking, and then I was actually listening to a lecture on my headphones. So I was really caught off guard when a woman just yelled at me like across the street, and she was closing in on me, and then she kept yelling, "Go back to hell, go back to China. Your country is hell," and etc. etc. And as I turned to her, and I turned to her, and I just like I tried to make sound, but it came out gibberish, and I then just run away, kept going, and I heard from my back, and she was keeping yelling, and that's why like it took me a while to take all this in, and after I got home, I started crying. So that was very difficult to handle because I didn't know because this kind of things have happened to me before. I just never reacted in any way helpful. It's like I know I get caught off guard, and it is very hard to fight back, especially with how we are brought up as Asians. I guess it's just not the way not the way we act in general, but like in a way it makes this kind of thing harder because you're not in the wrong here, and even so by not speaking up, it makes the situation harder to handle.
And it's interesting because I think in public opinion, many people view this kind of discrimination more prevalent, in the South or other parts of the country, and would view New York as more tolerant, diverse. But since coronavirus, what you're experiencing, because it's happened several times, is showing that even in New York, which has a lot of well-educated people, diverse, there's this type of intolerance. So it's kind of happening everywhere, not just in the South and other areas.
Yeah. Well, I think so. After the incident, so the next day, I actually went to a friend of mine who owns a small business around the area. We made friends because I shopped at his place, and he's also Chinese descent, and he's been here for a long time. So I talked to him, and so because he's an elderly gentleman, so he's been here a long time, and his English is not really well. So we spoke in Chinese, and he told me he had all the things happening to him all the time. Mostly probably because people know he doesn't speak English, and it was actually it was a very cathartic meeting, because he told me the next time if they shout at you and you forget how to respond, just curse them in Chinese. It's like I probably won't do that either, because I'm it's hard for me to do those things because I wasn't brought up that way. But it is very funny talking about it, and that's why it makes me smile just to think about it. To not take this kind of thing too hard, and to feel worse without any help. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, I think this is happening to a lot of Asian people, and the reason they are not speaking up is because they don't want to be the face of anything. They want to be discreet, and I think most Asian people are very private people. So that's why they don't speak up. And also I guess there's something I learned from social media too. When I posted, and it's I guess the people who are most targeted are I would believe they vulnerable looking people, really gentlemen, like my friend, and me. I'm kind of small. I'm 5'3". I'm kind of small size, and when you encounter people who are twice as your size, looking back, not responding was probably my best choice. So I pride myself of being a pretty confident woman, but when you have a physical encounter like that, I'm not afraid of my life, but you have to weigh the consequences. So,
And is your family still in Asia?
Right. Yes. Yes.
So that must be, you're going through this like the rest of New York, the isolation, the change in your routines, all of this, which has caused many depression and anxiety. You don't have family here, to support you through this. So it's got to be very unsettling and upsetting that you're going through it just like me, but on the other end, you're being blamed like you brought it here when you've been here. You have nothing to do with this. No Asian American has anything to do with this. So it's gotta be very unsettling that you're having to deal with this here and by some ignorant people be blamed.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. It's like, oh gosh, every time like you see some comments that America's leaders make, and it feels like they're making things worse for us, making things worse because like when they say something against, when they say something like Kung flu.
Wuhan was catching on. Coronavirus, right? Kung flu, yeah. Kung flu.
Like stuff like that, and every time they say that, and people listen, and people who listen to those people, those words, they're gonna hate us instead, and that's like every time you see that thing, you just kind of, oh my god, tomorrow is gonna be worse. So I'm not saying I encounter this every day, but I'm saying that it is more and more frequent, at least in my personal experience. Because like just yesterday, that was after the encounter I told you about. Just yesterday, I was walking home from grocery shopping, and this guy at the bus station, he just yelled at me. He shouted at me. At the time, I didn't know what it meant. I don't even know if I should say the word here because it's a slur. It's
Go ahead.
I think it's pronounced. I don't even remember how to pronounce it. It's chink.
Yeah.
CHINK. I had to look it up afterwards. I knew, like, by the way he said it, it was very aggressive, so I knew it wasn't a good word. So, but I walked away and I looked it up. It's amazing how a creative racist can be. Like, I've encountered, I don't know, almost a dozen these kind of incidents, like since March. And every time they came up with something different, something I never heard of, which is probably why I never knew how to respond. It's insane.
Has this made you want rethink your plans on whether you want to stay here in the long term or go home or?
So that was actually I'm definitely thinking about that. I'm a researcher, but right now I'm in between projects right now. So like doing research, you have projects, and my last project ended in the middle of June. So because of the reopening, you have to wait for a while to start your second project. So especially with now I'm at home and I'm just reading papers, reading journals, medicine journals, and focusing on coronavirus, the COVID-19 research, and so like the isolation makes it harder.
Right.
Am I saying? Yeah.
And I want to dig into this a little bit more because the way you were raised, you were talking about, is maybe not be confrontational,
Right.
Keep your head down, I guess more permissive rather than quote unquote cause trouble. What would be your message to other Asian Americans that might be dealing with this but are kind of it's just built into their DNA? Keep it to yourself, just keep going. Don't draw attention on yourself. Would you like to see more people speaking up? Because we've heard cases in San Francisco and many other cities too.
Yeah. So I guess yes. So a little bit of comment on the permissive part. Like I think so. I am brought up this way. I was brought up this way. I don't think the intention is to be permissive, but the intention is to be respectful at all times. So so the way we were brought up, there's an old Chinese saying that is think at least 3 times before you act. So because you do not want to act rashly, because you need to. So which is why I checked it was a slur. I didn't just I knew he was being racist, but I didn't act on it because I didn't know 100% that was a slur. So I checked. It's like people like me who they don't want to react. Sometimes because they are not sure. They are not sure that they know in their heart that they're being targeted, but they would think about it too much. They would think about it for 5 minutes, and then it's too late. Like those people already got off, and I guess honestly I posted to social media, so I don't have. So obviously I asked my friends, I asked people here to give me advice. So obviously, I don't really have that many advice, but I do hope there will be more there will be more people speaking up, rather than staying silent. Even if you don't confront these people on the street. I know it's hard to confront people on the street. But afterwards, people sharing their experience, that could be good. That could be a good way to deal with it. Which is like, this is my first time doing this, but I also think there should be other more activism on this, because I think people should be aware of the problem, rather than because they need to know that there is a problem, and especially with people who has a less good English than me even. They honestly, I don't even know how they cope, because people from family, they are my family. They are super nice to me. They're super supportive. But when they came to the U.S., they came as tourists. Like they stay here for 1 week or 2 weeks. Like in the past, like when I was in college, they stay here for my graduation, and that's it. They never know. They still don't know what racism is, what discrimination is, because they've never seen anything like this. So they don't know how to comfort you. The only thing they can offer is to not cause trouble, to like keep your head down. So I feel like people here who are actually experiencing here, they need to speak up more.
Well, I'm glad you spoke up, because I think this is very important. And, obviously it's great that the Black Lives Matter and racism towards black people has been such a focus of the last few months. But we could do multiple things. So I think we need to focus also on this discrimination, because first it's words and discriminative words, and then it turns into violence. And we don't want to see that. So thank you, Livis. We'll keep in touch. And thank you for speaking out.
I'm not sure if I feel like maybe I'm going over time, but like you can cut this.
No, go ahead. So
I think I want to say something about all the activism here. I'm a firm supporter of Black Lives Matters. I went to a few demonstrations with masks on, of course. Like a while back, I even made like acrylic art with the Black Lives Matter signs. So I feel like it is very important. I firmly believe everyone needs to have the right to live, have the right as anybody. Everyone is so before this year, I think I support this, but I never actually felt like I never could. I didn't think I understood in its entirety how soul crushing racism is, because like before it was like I supported the movement, and I stand with African Americans all the way, but I didn't understood how people feel when they encounter racism like that. And this time I truly felt like if this is happening every day to Black people, I don't know how they function, because like people, this is happening to me for like not even 4 months, and I'm already I'm almost going crazy. So yeah, I feel like we need support. Like I think all the minorities need to stand together, and I think that's the only way we can gain traction. We can make our knowledge, acknowledge our pain together, and make this activism grow larger and stronger.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Levis. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.